Don't you try to rescue me. Hey.
Let me tell you about my dad here.
Me. Don't you love a sympathy under.
Oh,
Under just what you say.
Bob. My name is Bob.
Don't you try to rescue me. Heck yeah.
We now got sound.
We now living in the future.
Two beans now with sound.
You do a silent one where we just...
Just because we didn't record any audio, but we still uploaded it anyway.
But I want you to like cut after every scene and put what we said.
Oh, that'd be
Just do
good.
it with like the title cards, like in silent.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah.
Or overdub it.
You should overdub it, but nothing matches our, like, what we're saying.
yeah.
Like,
Completely different.
Kung Fu.
I just overdubbed for both of us.
What's it? What's that
Kung
movie?
Pao.
Yeah, Kung
Yeah,
Pao
yeah.
and the Fist, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I love that.
You should just put Kung Pao under the Fist over one of our
Do you mind
episodes.
if I use a little of this for?
Yeah, go for it. It's apple pear.
Ooh.
Have you ever paired an apple with a pear?
How many pairs of dads you gotta go through before you settle on a new dad?
I found out you can make a pee-pee on here and go, bow. Yeah. Pee-pee on screen.
I gotta take a picture of the pee-pee. Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
I missed it. Do another one. Do another pee-pee.
Bow.
Do one more. I'm gonna take a video.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Bow.
Ooh, he's a long one.
It's long and skinny.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna lose the footage from that.
Okay, let me see if I can get him more round. Let me see.
Okay. Oh, let me.
There you go. I need rounder balls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bow. Nope. I gotta be louder. Bow. That one
That's
has
all balls. Just a little chubby.
chubby.
I'll try.
Okay. Bow. Balls. Bow. Bow.
Balls and a pee-pee.
Yours broke up. It's just weird.
It's got layers. It's triple stack.
Ribbed for their pleasure. Bow. Whoa, 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 whoop. Pee-pee. Oh, it's a little pee-pee.
Oh dang.
Okay, that's too good. I gotta sit here and do that all night.
That'll be a good intro.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta put my headphones on.
Gotta put. Girl, take it to life.
Getting wrapped up in here. Stop it.
Drop them out. Let me see them kitties.
Let me tell you about my dad.
Have you ever had a mom and a dad? Say hello to your son. Turns out I'm your dad. Doot 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 doot.
Welcome home, Dad.
Welcome home, Dad. I'm your son.
I'm your son,
I'm your dad.
Jeff Davis.
Hey, Dad. I don't know how dads work, so am I your dad?
Last time I had a dad. That was it.
He was pretty great.
He played ball with me.
He played with my ball.
All
All right, and 1, 2. Balls. Bing bong. Hey, everybody, it's Benji here.
And Philip J. Fry.
Hi.
Hi.
We are two Beanz. We're here to talk about...
Collectibles yet again.
What? It's almost like we ran out of things to talk
Are
about.
the two Beans out of ideas?
What? No.
Tell the presses.
We just like collecting, and we want to talk about it again more in depth, we hope, because we don't remember what we talked about in the first collectibles
Yeah,
episode.
so if you get some repeat information,
Don't hate on it, just
I'm
accept
sorry.
it. It's important to know that material, which is why we said it twice.
just ramming it in there.
This is C for communication.
We're really hard into communication.
Yeah,
here.
we want to communicate, and we need you to punch that like bell. Like I punched this communication.
like the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
Also, your microphone's like crooked from your face.
Oh, hey, wow.
There you go.
That was embarrassing.
People are gonna be like, "Oh no, his microphone!
They're the Beans. They're coming undone.
I can only hear 2/3 of them."
They're coming undone. All right, let me get that kind of... Okay, let's likely start all episodes, but seem to always forget every time, and then we're like, take a shot.
What podcast is this?
What podcast is my...
What do we? Oh,
We're drinking
Kinky Part 1.
Kinky Beans.
Couple of kinky beans.
Oh.
That's not bad.
Yep, that's way better than anything we've had.
And what kind of liquor is this?
Apple pear.
Apple pear. But like, is it just like a liqueur?
I think it's just a liqueur.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably just sweeter. That's probably why.
That was really nice.
Mm-hmm. It's probably more for mixing, but you know what? Whatever.
That's what I got in here. Is it and some Diet Coke?
Diet apple pear Coke.
I got these like aluminum. They're like the solo cups. But
yeah.
like, God, they're so good, and they're
Nice.
they're reusable. So you hang on to them.
Hell yeah, you just hang on to them forever.
Yeah. But they keep the drink so crispy, which is nice because we.
Oh, there you go. There, I can hear you.
Yeah, I probably just need to turn this up a little.
Yeah, a little bit. You're a little quiet. You're a little quiet boy. Little
How's
boy.
that sound?
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Oh, look at that.
Oh wow. Wow wow
in the peen.
wow. Ooh.
Two
All right.
Beans duet.
Doing things that we don't know what to do. All right, so collectibles. Let me get my notes. Yes. Hey, Dad, could you bring me my notes? Hey, yo, son.
Do you know of any notable collectibles?
Yes. That's literally what we're about to talk about.
Take note, everyone.
Take note
I should probably
of...
put the lid back on this because there's too many things without lids up here.
You could be
You know me.
You could be a clumsy bean.
Mm-hmm.
Clumsy bean.
You all know me. I'm always spilling drinks.
Just spilling the beans.
You don't know that, but
What's the tease, sis? I can't talk about it.
that's all I got.
All right. First subject.
Number 1. Copyright claim.
We have just been demonetized.
Dang it.
Getting into collectibles. We've kind of talked about this. I don't know how about... I think we talked about it a little in depth, but we kind of I wanted to retouch the subject. We want to just caress it. Caress it. We touched it last time, but we're going to caress it this time. This subject.
We're just going all in.
Yep, all beans. All
Collectibles
the time.
Part 3.
Two
coming
beans.
Season 3.
Two beans, two caressing.
Yeah.
So how do you get into some of your collectibles or your collections? How do you do that? Because sometimes people just stand at stuff. They you see them standing at Funko Pops. I'm like, I like them all, but I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, you got to pick which ones you really like and collect those. Because if you just went to buy them all,
Yeah.
it's a little wild.
Unless you just want Funko Pops. And
you
want
just
all
like
of them,
Funko
but
Pops in general.
If that's your thing, good luck having space for that and still
I've seen
maintaining
giant
a healthy
walls.
life.
Yeah. Healthy relationships, healthy
Yeah.
life, yeah. But yeah, so like getting into sometimes I've gotten into things like friends, love interests and stuff. Like you kind of want to always do like what they want to do.
Yeah,
Collectibles. I had trouble separating collectibles from hobbies a little bit with this one, writing this one, but every time.
Third time, fourth time, something like that.
Yeah, so
4 beans.
Yeah, like I'll get into what they get into a little bit. Maybe we collect together. We'll travel around and stuff. Do things like that. So,
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that. There's always it's fun when you both like the same thing. Whether, it's you and a significant other or a friend, and you can be like, hey, let's hop on down to the
let's hop on down the bean train
to the Bradley Fair and
go collect some beans.
Yeah.
Maybe you have
they got a new bean stock there.
Oh man, I'll trade you my kidney bean for your lima bean.
I mean, for me, it was it started in childhood of just like if I liked something, I got really obsessed with it, so I would try to like track everything down. I didn't realize I was collecting at that point. It was just being like, "Hey Ma, I want that new Bill and Ted figure. And it's not new; it's 10 years old, but it's on eBay, and I have the money now." I'll pay you back.
I
was like 10.
I'll go work at the coal mines, Ma, to pay for my Bill and Ted action figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only.
Yeah. Nostalgia, I think, is probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, especially now, like, because back then you didn't realize you're collecting. Probably didn't keep things up to par that you should,
I should have. I had almost the full Bill and Ted collection.
Oh, yeah.
And, I took them all out of the box, and
they just had an excellent adventure, and in some cases it was too excellent.
And I was just, I'm getting more organized now, but when I was a kid, I was super unorganized. So
just tubs.
Toys just went wherever, and I've probably lost some good things just because they got thrown into a trash bin somewhere.
I would have tubs filled with just everything, and then it all gets crushed. But nowadays that I'm older and I have money to actually buy things and appreciate things, that nostalgia note really hits. And that's a big proponent in pushing me towards my collections and stuff. Yeah. And depending on what it is, like, because nostalgia is such a broad thing, like, maybe that movie like Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Or like maybe you had something like you went to Colorado and you got a rock. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, that rock. I like rocks. Like I should get rocks.
Rockin' hard in Colorado.
Where the rocks are hard and they're very shallow.
2 beans.
2 beans are demonetized. So yeah.
Deplatformed.
We have lost our YouTube channel.
What rule did you break? They didn't. They just wanted them off of the channel.
Yeah. And then, so, like, part of collecting, too, like I said, hobbies. I brought up hobbies a little bit. Part of collecting can be part of hobbies. Like, my tabletop stuff, that's a hobby, but it's also turned into, like, collecting and stuff.
As you get things for it.
Yeah, you get things. You put it in. You especially, like, modeling and stuff, you want to make people see that stuff, not just in the tabletop realm, but just people come over.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, like with like the music producing and stuff like that. It's very much like a hobby based type of thing, but like you get addicted to the gear and the,
and you have nice guitars.
Yeah, it's like I already had guitars, but now I have another excuse. I'm like, well, it's a good studio guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
For all the client I'm recording. That uses his own guitars when recording, like 7 guitars. Like 3 in the closet.
I think guitars is a big, like, for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, guitars are just like kind of cool. Like, you can even get your most mediocre guitarist, and like if they just like the way it looks, they're like, yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, some people. I know a guy who doesn't even like he plays guitar, but he's just mostly like he just likes the look of them. He likes them.
I mean, honestly, that's almost where I'm at because I haven't played in so long.
Yeah,
life's been so busy, and I'm like, you look cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and then the other thing, because we've been a part of groups too, like mainly like music groups, but I'm part of like a Godzilla group and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I remember joining that group, and I've been collecting Godzilla. We'll go into that later on.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing would be for that, like just having a group of people to share that with kind of builds your your enthusiasm for going out and collecting. Like maybe you just have that one Godzilla toy, but you love Godzilla, right? Or maybe you have that one Bill and Ted toy, but you love Bill and Ted. You join a group, people show off all their figures, and so then that builds that enthusiasm.
Kind of inspires you,
yeah, and then you kind of go and do it and stuff.
I don't like the community aspect of kind of any of those groups. There's been a few people, like I've bought stuff off of the like metal and core collectors. One of the guys in there sold me it's not up anymore. It's over there now. The Protest the Hero 7-inch from like 2003, 2002. Stuff like that I wouldn't have been able to have gotten like just on my own, like so there's always that cool thing is you kind of like you get to meet people and see what they have, and you kind of like, it's not like networking, but it's kind of like it. And that way it's like there's ever like, man, I've been looking for this one thing. That guy might be like, hey, I know a guy who might have one.
I remember I made that comment on that record one. There's like a record we're both in. And it was a Led Zeppelin. I don't really collect records. I have a stack of them, but I don't really collect them. And I was like, oh, cool, I love that. Because it's usually like that you don't see like originals, right? Yeah. You usually see reprints and then they're out. But then someone is like, well, I know a guy who has like 5 of 4. I was like, well.
yeah, like they are out there. It's not like it's the most rare thing, but
I was just like, oh, cool, I love that that album specifically.
Yeah, and like, I got like, it's probably because they're just trying to sell it to you.
Yeah, they're like, well, I got 5 of them.
Half the people in that group are all like just like record sales people.
Yeah, they're just like hoarders or something, like where they buy a bunch and they're like, I'm gonna sell this.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people do that and they're pretty successul in the group. I don't know who they're selling to, but there's people out there that are taking. They're all just kind of selling to each other in a way, but whatever works.
So, all right, let's see here. What to do?
Oh yeah, so you got the collectibles now. What the heck do you do with them?
Yeah, so kind of this is something that you should think about before you get into collectibles. Maybe by that first one, and you're like, this is something that I'm going to do. You need to think about what you're going to do. You need to come at it, I would say, with an organized approach, or else you're just going to blow lots of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good to like have a plan.
I'm not saying you need to be like so structured it's stressful. Like it should be very fun.
Right, yeah.
But it can also be very stressful if you start spending all your money and you have all these things and you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's just like just kind of being self-aware of like, oh man, I've bought like 5 of like these same type of things in the last month. Is this something I want to do? Because I know for some of the things I've gotten.
Is that an earthquake?
I was trying to do like a reverse. We're like,
is that my dad?
My dad. No, I mean, there's been some things where it's like I've bought like 2 or 3 of, and down the road I'm like, oh, I bought like 10 of these. Oh, I'm collecting just because like I don't realize it. But then there's other stuff where it's like I buy one and then I'm like, where's the rest of it? I need all of it. And then I'm on eBay trying to find the best prices, and I'm like, look, Jenna, this one's only $200. It normally goes for $400. Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, that's another thing. So the research too, you get into like pricing. Pricing's a big part of collecting.
Let's not jump ahead.
I'm not jumping ahead. Yeah, go. You have something else to?
No, we're displaying.
Oh no, displaying's after pricing. Sorry, because that's when you get it.
Okay.
You gotta.
I got my prompts backwards. I thought we were going into display.
Oh no. Pricing was a part of the subcategory of this.
The subcategory.
Because before you display, you gotta buy it.
That's
and
true.
Part of displaying is buying the display cases. Also really expensive. We'll get into that. But pricing the stuff, like doing research on that, it really helps.
Yeah.
You not to waste money, because people are like, especially if it's something that a lot of people want, the price is just going to skyrocket, and maybe it's actually not worth that. They're just it's the market that kind of dictates it. So if you're really not into that collectible, like I really like Toy Story Funko Pops. I'm not dropping $100 on some of those rare ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a gift, I'll feel bad, but the person at least got me, that's really sweet. But I'm not going to drop $100 on the piggy bank Funko Pop.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait that out. Maybe it comes down, maybe it doesn't. But I like to go into my collecting like, well, I don't need anything.
Right.
I want it. And how much money am I willing to spend?
Yeah,
on it?
yeah.
And
It's okay, I know I want this thing. What's like my limit on what I'd pay for
yeah,
it?
and like that value can change. Like the T-Rex one is something that I would drop a good fair amount of money because I love T-Rex. He's one of my favorite. Rex from Toy Story is one of my favorite characters.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs and his wow, dropping the bean bomb. But anyway,
Beans.
I got lucky. I got him as a gift, but and we talked about that on the last episode was the Rex Funko Pop. But anyway, yeah, like you're not gonna just, you don't want to just go willy nilly and just start blowing loads of money on these things.
Yeah, you can't go around blowing loads,
Yeah, people don't like that, and your pocketbook's not gonna like that. And then the other thing is like what to do is another thing to think about is like, what are you doing collecting that? Like, is it some kind of like special thing like my tattoos?
What's your end game here?
Yeah, like my tattoos are travel related. They're not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just get them here. That's kind of
like if you start getting, I know we keep jumping back to Funko Pops, but it's like, okay, maybe you pick up a character from The Office. Is your end game like, I want to get all the Office characters and that's like going to be my thing? Or you're like, I'm going to get all of the single camera, like fake docu-series NBC shows as Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Because then you got to get The Office and Parks and Rec.
And my recommendation would be just starting with The Office and then branching
right,
to
yeah.
that.
But you got to think about all that before you just...
Yeah, like...
Because then all of a sudden you bought like 4 characters from different series and you're like, now I got like 3 incomplete collections.
And then you're like... And then maybe you overwhelm yourself because you're like, well, I have all these different figures. Because they keep releasing figures from those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So you have to... You really kind of have
There's
to
no stopping that Funko machine.
There isn't, no. And, like, for me, like, with Funko Pops, jumping on Funko, we're going to talk about my collection of Funko Pops, but how I go about collecting it, and maybe since I'm talking about it now, I won't actually go into it, but I have things that I want, like you said, like The Office. I don't collect The Office, but, like, I have Marvel heroes, and I do DC villains.
Yeah.
And so those are the ones I collect. I've got Godzilla Funko Pops. I have like the series from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're Dayman.
Yeah, Dayman, Nightman. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have all of those guys. I'm not going to get all of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia ones. I'm just going to get those specific Dayman ones.
Yeah, and it's like, and you know that. So
yeah,
it's like,
and so then
it's
keeps
okay
me,
to get just, a few.
I'm not going to see multiple Charlie Days and freak out. I'm just going to see the one where he's Dayman and be like, that's what I want.
Gotta get all the Charlie Days.
It's Pepe Sylvia. Demonetized. All right. So then that gets into like themes and stuff get into displaying.
Yes.
So another thing with displays is they cost money.
Back on you got them. What do you do with them?
Yeah, you got them now. You've spent the money on them. What are you going to do with them? Well,
I'm going to be like, hey, Dad.
Could you build me a case?
Yeah. Dad, can you show me how to use a hammer?
Can I hammer this case out? Again, that comes down to doing your research a little bit on cases, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I'll buy 1 or 2, and then once it starts growing, then it's like, okay, it's time to get a case.
Right, yeah.
And get a special shelf for this stuff, and, figure that out as I go and kind of let it grow and stuff, depending on what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always admired the cases and always have wanted something kind of like that, but just with like kind of both like budget constraints and like we already have like a lot of furniture anyway. Like even when I lived on my own, I always just had a lot of stuff. So I've always tried to adapt like my collections to different like furniture in a way. I mean, there have been times both when we've been together and when I lived on my own where like like this table would be like, this is the Power Rangers table or the Ninja Turtles table or something like that. So it was like all this stuff all the way through. So I've been cutting back on some of that and kind of narrowing down, a few spots here and
Yeah.
there. But I think eventually I want to try to get some of the cases. I noticed IKEA has some of them for like $60.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
I've
that
always wanted
expensive.
like glass cases with the lighting,
Yeah.
which is expensive, but like those
Yeah.
is really what I
You
want.
got a few options because it's like you can do it on your own, but then it's going to not look quite as like professional.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, it's way cheaper and
Yeah.
you got all that. But yeah, eventually I'd like to do that. Just don't quite have the space here. Like, one of my projects sometime is going to be kind of going through the studio and seeing what I can move around. And if I could condense like most of the figures that are in there like loose to like kind of 2 of those glass cases off to the side, then I have that back
But even
wall
then, like,
saved, and like I could move stuff around.
Your
in there.
studio is themed. It's based
Right,
right.
yeah.
Like you have a name for it, and then the stuff that is in there actually makes sense with that name for the most part, I think. Right?
Yeah, for sure. It's more so like right now, just kind of like practically kind of like saving some space and
Yeah.
whatnot.
But you have like all your horror monsters, and I thought that's what it was named after.
yeah,
the
yeah,
studio.
yeah. It is. It's not that I want to get rid of it. I just want to like.
I was just talking about like
Clean up
displaying
the-
and stuff.
yeah,
and
clean up.
themes.
Yeah, right now, like it works. Like it kind of. I mean, I've always had monster stuff for wherever, so this is not uncommon for me to have it all kind of in one spot. But like now that we have room for our own studios and our own rooms, it's like, okay, this is like kind of the monster room. Like I got some stuff up there with the movies and whatnot.
Yeah, I know not everything is going to be in there, but I've got. I think I like cubes, but I do wish some of my cubes were bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would, like that way I could fit more into it. Like, okay, I have this cube that's strictly dedicated to having like 3 or 4 cubes strictly dedicated to like my comic book stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I want to get into, longer shelves and things like that. And I think for my models, just because models are breakable and things like that, getting glass cases and shelves. But yeah, but that stuff is expensive. How you're going about doing this stuff, right? So are you an organized, like we talked about, we have themes on all of our shelves. He has a themed room. I've got not really themed room, but I do have, every shelf has one thing, and I try and keep it fairly organized. But are you somebody who just has like, I have 5 figures and I just want to display all 5 figures? Or do you have what's movie memorabilia compared to like, right? Like I'm like horror monsters, right? Or like they have movies,
right? Yeah.
But
I mean,
also,
I used to, like any figure or collectible I had, I would usually try to take it out and put it somewhere. So I would try to integrate them kind of within themes close to it. So it's like, I might have like a few monster things by the movies, but then I would try to also have like any Three Stooges or Charlie Chaplin stuff, like with the movies, and like Bill and Ted and things like that. But like over time, I've put less and less out because I would just have these odds and ends that didn't really match up with where they would go. So like I've got a lot of stuff relegated to storage. Like someday, like once we like have a house and I have a little extra space, I might have like a shelf for just like mismatched things, if we have the space. It's
so weird. Like I do have a mismatched shelf, and that's usually like when I have 1 or 2 collectibles per collection. Like maybe they're Start collections, or maybe they're that Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they don't really match any collection shelf that I have, but there's not enough of them to give them their own shelf.
Right. Yeah.
So I will put them in a random shelf is kind of what I do.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I'm a little... Definitely not OCD, because it's like you wouldn't even do that. But I definitely like having structure with all my presented stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's like anything. Once you, if you're looking at it from like kind of a design aspect, and you're trying to create like a space that's pleasing for you. Yeah. Like if it's gonna like bother you at all, having like all these things kind of mixed together, then it's like, it's okay to like kind of sort it out and whatnot. And I mean, that's why like I just put a lot of stuff in storage right now, because like, number one, I'm just trying not to overwhelm like how much stuff like I actually have out, and then try to just get like the heavy hitters. It's like I have more Batman stuff than what I have in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need all of the little things out. Like, I'll probably
Yeah.
eventually kind of condense some of that stuff down in there too. But like, kind of have the big ones.
I've done that with like, so I used to have a Jurassic Park display, and I've gotten rid of that. That's all in like storage and stuff. Just 'cause I didn't have room, and it doesn't really. It's cheap toys. Like they're collectibles to me. They're important to me.
Right. Yeah.
But they're not really display worthy stuff. They're meant for kids. They get destroyed and stuff. But and someday I'll get them back out and display them and things like that. But like even like I had to make hard cuts on my Marvel DC display. Like basically all my action figures because they just kept falling.
Yeah.
So unless they were in a box, they're put away. I don't keep them out. I keep the big important stuff.
Especially when you have like pets, like things are just gonna fall over more than they already do, So you gotta have those special places either like really high up or like
because sometimes your collection just grows too big.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, okay, you have to make the hard cuts, and then you gotta prioritize what you want to display. Like I said. All my action figures, if they are out, they're going to be still in the box.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, with the monster stuff, it's like I've definitely indulged a lot into it, but I've slowed down quite a bit. There are other things out there that I want. But it's like as of right now, the few things that I've gotten this year have mostly been some of the like kind of Mego reissue figures because I have a little bit of wall space in the studio, and those are things to kind of put on the wall, and it doesn't take up any extra space. But really, the only like figures I'm going to start collecting are just the NECA re-releases, or I guess they're not they're new releases. So they've done Frankenstein, and they got the Wolfman and the Mummy on pre-order right now, and supposedly Dracula's coming out. And
cool.
I'm like super stoked. Like these look great. The Frankenstein figure they've done so far has already surpassed like the sideshow ones from like 20 years ago that have like really stood the test of time. So I'm excited to see what they do with them. But it's like at that point, I'm kind of like I'm done for a while. Like I'll wait till the next cycle, like 10 years from now, when another toy company takes over. And something.
And remember when we used to just like travel to Hastings, like, and you would get all these things.
Yeah.
Oh man, the days. That made collecting fun too. Like going
I
back
really
to like
miss
the
that.
friend thing, going back to the groups of community thing, and then like Hastings was just like. I don't think it was a community there, but us, you and me, and then kind of the groups of friends that would join us every once in a while. Like, I'll get out of town and go to Hastings, or I'm not into anything, but
it was something I knew I could like, could run it by someone, and they'd be like, I'll go with you, because everyone just wants to go.
Because you and me collect,
right?
Out of everybody, we have probably the largest.
And I mean, like, I always loved going by myself, but like, it was always more fun. Yeah, when you get you and me, and I think like Blake and Neil came with us a few times.
I think Travis once in a while. But I remember, too, like with a friend, it's probably irresponsible, but at the time, like when you're like, I don't know if I want this, like I want this, but then you have that friend who's there and is like that looks awesome.
You're like kind of hyping yourselves up because like I would be making an irresponsible purchase, so I'm like, if we all make irresponsible purchases, I will feel less bad.
But like, it's like I want this, but I don't know if I actually want this, and it's like that friend is there, like either they're rational and like, hey, you don't need that. Like that doesn't actually like for me it would be like if I saw you grabbing something that didn't really make sense for your collection, but do you really need to spend $50 on that when it doesn't?
I was really bad about that back then. I wanted everything.
Again, talking about not being organized and stuff, we were really bad about just.
I was like, Star Wars now.
All right, so then that kind of is really the gist of collecting. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Just like kind of like little things.
A good wrapper-upper. I haven't really talked about this as much in any of the collecting, a little bit in the hobbies, but really like the record and music collecting has kind of become like a thing now. Especially, it's like I got my little Protest the Hero display over there, so I feel like I've officially entered it as like I call them like collectibles in a way. It's like it's been a collection, but like it's like a whole thing now, and it's been really enjoyable. Getting along with that, but in the same way where it's like I've kind of hit like a point where it's like I've filled up about as much space as I can take up. So I really got to be like, you know, 1 or 2 records at a time, and like especially these days with
you gotta go through it and you have to prioritize. Okay, do I really?
And
want
everything's
this
gonna be a pre-order, and it's always gonna be delayed like a month or 2 after it's supposed to have shipped. So like you just have to think about that stuff these days, and that kind of goes for a lot of this. Another reason I really miss like going to Hastings and stuff is, you know, like you can just go like kind of get something and get something special. And these days, you know, with the way the pandemic kind of changed stuff and we're all getting stuff online, and everything's just so delayed these days. So in a way, it's kind of helped because I can't get that immediate adrenaline rush of like, I got it and it's going to be here in a couple days. It's like, I got a pre-order in and it's going to be here in April of 2022.
That's
yay.
That's kind of how it is with like on eBay is one of my favorite things where it's like bidding can get out of hand. But you all like, I guess that's a good thing on pricing and stuff and responsibility and being organized is getting a price set in your head on what you want to spend on like for me, a comic. It's usually what I bid on. I don't bid on anything. I'll usually buy it outright if I see it for cheap enough. Sometimes you see people like it's like you bid on this, you only spend $30. And if you want to buy it outright, it's $50. Well, if I look at the price and the pricing says it's worth $70, well, I'm going to buy the $50 one.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't quite make sense, but also the 30 can shoot all the way up to 70.
Yeah, if it's a buy it now for still a reasonable price.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like way out of the line, but you know, if it's a few dollars more, I've wasted so much money in my life that sometimes another $10. Yeah. I'm like, it's whatever, you know, and I'd rather have the sure deal. If it's something I really wanted and I've wanted for a long time, the opportunity won't come around again.
And again, if you go for the bid and then you lose out on the bid, and then all those other people who lost out on the bid are probably going to go to that buy it now. Or somebody who's looking at it is going to see that buy it now and make the same rationale that you did.
Yep.
So you do run that risk with bidding kind of getting out. Because all of a sudden bidding then can go into above the actual price. And that's why I always set a limit. Like I remember one of my favorite comics that I've always wanted, the one I'm looking for, is the first appearance of Black Cat in Spider-Man. It always goes way too high on bids. I'll throw in bids and then I'll be like, okay, my highest bid is gonna be $150. Like that's
right.
And it always goes above it. And then there's like the whole like having fun. Like I won't bid until the very end, trying to sneak a price in there, right? But more often than not, I never actually get it.
Yeah.
But I haven't yet, or else I would be bidding on it. I would have gotten it by now. And people who do the direct now, they're like, well, I want $200 for this. And it's like, nope, that's above my asking price for any of it. And then when bidding gets to $150, I'm like, nope, even though I want to. It may be like $155, right? And it's like, oh, I can do that. And nope, my price is $150. If it goes above $150, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's tough. But I feel like that is necessary with eBay and bidding.
Yeah, and the thing with eBay is you really got to save it as kind of a last resort, or like you got to go on there as like you're looking for one specific thing. Yeah. And like go on there, kind of do some research, see what the particular thing goes for, and then set like your threshold and then kind of, you know, watch for that. Because, I mean, I used to, like, I'd just sit on eBay and be like, ooh, what's something I want to look up? What's something I want to try to find? And then I'd just be on eBay for, like, hours just looking at stuff. And it's gotten better. But, I mean, back in the day, I would just, because, like, I just impulsively decided to get on eBay one day, then 2 hours later, I just bought a $100 turntable. That I didn't need. I had a perfectly good turntable before, but I'd be like, it's quartz lock. Direct drive. Yeah. Fancy from the 80s. I remember goes for $200. I got it for like $140.
You had a weird thing when you'd come home with speakers from Goodwill and you're like, it's like those don't work or they half work. Yeah, but I got them for $5 and it's like, yeah, for a reason.
Right. They're in the beginnings because I didn't have like a good system. So I would just try different things because they were cheap enough.
But you wouldn't get rid of the old things.
Yeah, I had to have backups, you know. Because they're Goodwill speakers. You never know when they're going to go out. But these
you
days...
can throw them right as soon as you figure out that they're not working.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good about that. But
Yeah.
these days, I've got enough like good speakers. Like I'm still tempted, and I'll go look, but like I haven't bought speakers in a while.
Yeah.
It's been good. I even got rid of some speakers.
Oh, nice. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into our collection. So we've gone into individual in the last season with the collectibles episode, individual things that mean a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
What are our big collections, right? Because sometimes those...
I just spoiled it with the records.
Yeah, you got your records. But like...
Cut that out.
I've talked about comics and Funko Pops and stuff. And we've talked about my love for Godzilla and passion for Godzilla. Like,
Yeah.
Godzilla is one of those. I have really nice figures. I have really cheap figures. I just like having the figures.
Right. Yeah.
And so that one's a really fun one just because, like, oh, cool. Gigan came out. I'm going to get it. Oh, it looks like, well, that's a $12 toy for kids. Why would you want to say? Because it's Gigan. Like,
yeah, and it's like, hey, if it's something that gets me only spending $12 and not $120 on a big old statue of him.
Yeah, and like, I have the statue of him too. I like them both. Statue doesn't get to leave the box.
Yeah.
And not that I go out and play with him, but I do like to be like, look at this Gigan guy, and I can pick it up and be like, look at him.
Look at him.
So let's talk about him. You know, talk about our Lord and Savior Gigan.
We don't talk about Gigan enough.
And we don't. His movie's the best. Anyway, my comic book collection is something. It's actually bigger than comic books. It's, you know, you've seen my room and stuff. It's all the Funko Pops, which is now getting to my Funko. It's
a lot of it kind of stems from the comic books. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of like the core, and then you got a little like branches that come off.
yeah.
of
I've
that.
got like the movies that come with comics and stuff. They're like hardback. I think you have some too.
Oh yeah. I got a couple of those
They're
Batman
like graphic
ones.
novels or whatever.
Yeah,
but they have the
got, like,
movies in the
Blu-ray.
back.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I never read them.
Yeah, I think I've read them when I first got them.
Yeah.
And then watched the movie. The comics are kind of frustrating because you really don't want to actually display them unless you have them in like a good display, because you want humidity and dark. You don't want a lot of sunlight and stuff. So like, in a way, the comic book collection, my comic book, is represented by my actual stuff.
Yeah.
Like all my Funko Pops. I have like the Sinister Six, all the guys that are in the Sinister Six for Spider-Man, because I love the Amazing Spider-Man comic series. It's a great series.
Yeah.
And really, they're the only Marvel villains that I get. All my Marvel stuff is usually heroes because I like their heroes, whereas DC, I really like their villains. So I have a lot of villain things. I have like a really big Killer Croc, but then I also have like the Funko Pop stuff, and
yeah.
I finally got the first appearance of Hawkeye in
Hot Guy,
and then I also bought a Jeremy Renner signed Funko Pop.
Yeah.
With the certification and stuff like that. So that's kind of my representation of, yeah, look, I have this cool Jeremy Renner plays Hawkeye, and look at this Tales of Suspense Iron Man number 57. First
look at
appearance
this
of
hot guy in pop form.
He's hot.
Pull him out of the oven. He's hot. He's done.
Funko.
The Funko popping a booner for Jeremy Renner.
Hey, Dad, why are you popping a booner?
I'm popping a booner.
Biana. Hey, Dad, why you...
Did you learn how to play the piano?
Hey, Dad, is that a Funko Pop, or you just happy to see me?
You ever seen a grown dad naked?
You seen a Funko Pop naked? So yeah, that's kind of my collections. I think another one is movies. I haven't really gotten to collecting movies just because video on demand is a real thing.
Oh yeah,
downloaded movies. It takes up less space.
Well, and these days, like, there's just a way wider variety digitally than there is.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and like Best Buy, remember we'd go to Best Buy and get movies and stuff. That's basically gone.
Yeah, it's such a small selection these
days.
Steelbooks
are basically nostalgia things, but they're not special release steelbooks anymore. They're like,
yeah, it's the basic Blu-ray with like no special features, but then you're paying $30 for that steelbook.
Exactly. And it's like, so collecting movies isn't really worth it unless it's like really means something to you. It's memorabilia, like a box set. So usually if it's a series, I'll buy the box set, but that's big.
Yeah, I mean, like these days, I've gotten most of the modern movies that I've either seen or want to see, because I I really don't buy anything anymore unless I've seen it and I know I want to watch it again. You know, I used to go out and just buy anything that seemed interesting.
I think we both used to
and,
do that. Spring Breakers kind of killed that for me.
Yeah, it's just I got to a point where it's like, number one, run out of the room. Number two, it's like, okay, I got all these horror movies out here.
Yeah,
and I ain't watched one in like 3 years. You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's kind of like I
like having the catalog of them. So if I ever do,
yeah,
you know, it's nice.
I think the only time I ever actually pull out my movies is one, it's not on any of the digital stuff that I don't have to buy, and I have a real hankering for it, or it's October.
You're right.
And I watch all my horror films, then I watch all my Godzilla films on actual Halloween.
Yeah, that's the biggest time for me when I like consistently have movies out. Is like
I guess Christmas, any holiday. It's like Thanksgiving, I'll watch the Thanksgiving movies that I like. Christmas, I watch all the Christmas movies that I like, which, speaking of Christmas movies, the new Matrix trailer came out and it's coming out in Christmas.
Oh.
Actually looks pretty good. It's got Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I heard someone mention something about...
Trailer's out.
The trailer today, but it was so busy at one point, I forgot about it, but yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen any of them.
And then, what about your big collection? So we know we've talked about your monsters, we've talked about your records.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted a little bit.
I mean, those are kind of like the heavy hitters. As I was talking about like records and stuff, like kind of music in general, is it. Yeah, I mean, I've been collecting records for a while, but it's kind of coming back to me now because of the fact that it's like I really have to wait for an album to get here in my hands. Like waiting on this new Between the Buried Me record. Oh, and like I see all these people in the Between Buried Me group that I'm in, they're finally getting theirs, and I'm like, I haven't even gotten a shipping update, and finally just got like an update today, and it's like they'll be here on the 16th, which means we'll be sending them out a week or two after that. So it's like gonna be here like at the same time as like the retail ones come out, but like I'm just so ready to have it in my hands, and then the Devil Wears Prada Zombie 2 EP. Finally should be here this weekend.
Nice.
Like that, I've had pre-ordered since like March or something like that. So that's been coming back in a big way, and like, and I think I'm gonna start like getting like a few CDs here and there because for the most part those seem to be kind of coming out a little bit faster than the records. And
I like CDs because of the ease to listen to them.
Yeah. Like I just thought of this the other day where I was like, you know, I love records, but especially like. So for like Colors 2, it's one of those albums that's got to flow all the way through. Yeah. So it's always hard like getting up and, you know, changing the sides because you just lose some of that momentum. And even on streaming, most of the time it's seamless, but like on Spotify and stuff, there's always like kind of some cuts in there. Yeah. And I'm like, man, if I just had the CD, I'd just throw that in the car or throw it on like the Blu-ray player and just listen to the whole thing without it, you know, stopping. Yeah. But yeah, I just I've been really enjoying music a lot more lately, you know, especially like I've been going on my runs and stuff like that, and it's really made me fall in love with a lot of the stuff that I just haven't listened to in a long time, and I'm like, I like this. So all right, collections. Yeah, I got the music, I got the monsters, I got the Bill and Ted. One
thing that we both do also with music is we collect the memorabilia. Yeah. And that's a special one, I think, for me, where all my memorabilia nowadays is actually from concerts. So if I'm wearing, like, this is a Good Tiger hat. Yeah. I got that on the show we went to in St. Louis, where we saw Good Tiger for the first time. And I fucking love this hat. My favorite August Burns Red hat is from that show as well. Yeah. All my like band hats and band memorabilia now, other than my shirts from like that don't fit me anymore. So anything that I wear that's band related that fits me, it's from shows. Right. And I kind of want to keep it that way now. I don't like ordering that. Ordering it online isn't like a bad thing for me. I like actually seeing the band and then having that merch that says, this is it's like a story behind that kind of collection.
Right. Yeah. I definitely missed that.
Which during COVID, that's kind of changed, right?
Right, yeah. I haven't really like bought a lot of like band like clothing or merch in that way, like consistently for like 10 years. And part of it was just like I stopped wearing T-shirts and stuff for a while. Like I was the button-up guy. So like I just hardly ever got T-shirts up until like recently, and now I'm like, I want all the T-shirts.
Well, and like for work, I have to wear. I can't wear band memorabilia anymore, so I wear button-ups. But in the on the weekends and during the afternoons, I'll switch over to like some band T-shirts or something like that.
That's why I started, because I was just like, I'm tired of wearing what I wear to work every day.
Yeah.
There for a while it was convenient because I could buy something like, and I was like, oh, I can wear this to work, and I can also wear this out. And then I'm like, I don't want to wear what I wore to work the other day. Yeah.
So, I think that's about it. I think we don't quite know what we're going to talk.
Good night kisses.
Yeah, we thought this one would be a short one. We've given you some long ones, some long boys this season. We went pretty in depth with them, so we're pretty happy with what we've put out.
Yeah. I know things have like kind of changed this season, like release
but we're adjusting.
And
He's got a lot of busy stuff. I've got a busy schedule. We're making the best of it. We appreciate you guys sticking with us, and also
and I'm feeling really good, really excited, rejuvenated for new stuff. It's been a long summer getting ready for the wedding and just like a lot of other things going on. So we'll be kind of like wrapping up our filming on season 2 here pretty soon, and you'll be seeing the rest of those episodes for the next couple months. I'm really excited for like season 3
because this will be episode 4, and then we probably 2 more podcasts episodes.
Yeah, we got a few more things we'll have out. 4. And, we got a couple 2 Beans in the Kitchen segments.
Yep, that'll be fun. We got the movie reviews that we've been talking about forever.
Yeah.
We might do some more little ones here and there. I think that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're gonna get like a content overload here at the end of the season 2 runs. We'll get getting some stuff out to y'all. So appreciate your patience.
Yeah,
with all
we're
of
really
that.
excited. We're happy with this. We're getting more comfortable. We're getting more, we're just getting more in depth.
Getting a little more loose in my dad.
Even this one, like it's a short one, but I think we went pretty much in depth. Hopefully we didn't just sound like we talked about Collectibles 1.
Yeah, I think we got some good stuff, and I'm really glad that we didn't go for 2 hours, because editing that much content, I was like, especially when we were both so drunk.
Yeah, we were.
For that one.
I watched it. I cracked up. I loved it, but I definitely was like, there was 2 hours. Like I remember there being 2 hours.
Oh yeah,
the fact that you got down to 48 minutes is amazing.
I could have done a little bit more, because I probably could have pulled a little bit more content, because we weren't completely gone that second hour, but like 75% of it was just drunk arguing about the same subject, but we were both so drunk we didn't listen to what the other person was saying. We were like, no.
The one thing I was excited to see on that one, and I'll have to just actually ask for the footage. We'll have to do just a 30-minute video of us on the Metallica Black album, because God, does that
do that as a highlight?
Yeah, just like, hey, this is actually 30 minutes of just this. This is episode 6 of us just talking about.
I have a version of that episode saved where basically there's some stuff cut out, but like it's mostly the whole episode intact. So I think either we'll get a bonus episode, or if we ever do like a Patreon or something like that, we'll give you like the whole thing. You can get 2 Beans Uncut Raw, and 2
Beans
talking about
Raw
the Black album.
Appreciate it. This is probably the middle of the season for us. Again, we've changed some things up. We love you guys. Please stick with us. We're having a lot of fun. We hope you have a lot of fun. And we will see you next time.
Spread those good bean vibes.
Spill the beans to your moms and dads about us. Bye.
Bye.
That's my shit. That's my shit. Ooh, that's my shit. Bow. Bow. Whip. Heh. I made a pee-pee on the screen. Hey. Yeah. Hey. You.